Okay, so let's unpack this. Have you caught the recent headlines about AmaZulu King Misuzulu kaZwelithini?
Oh, yeah. Hard to miss.
It's quite a twist, right? He recently filed for divorce from his first wife, Queen Ntokozo kaMayisela,
Hmm.
and a stated intention is to marry a fourth wife.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets, well, really
Like
interesting.
a legal challenge.
Exactly. The Queen actually tried to halt this new marriage.
On what grounds?
She pointed to their 2021 civil marriage, which, typically forbids remarriage without a proper divorce.
A civil marriage, right. That usually implies monogamy under that specific legal framework.
Precisely. Her request, though, was denied by the courts.
Denied? Okay.
Yeah.
But has he proceeded?
Not yet, apparently. The king hasn't actually gone ahead with the new marriage, as far as we know.
Hmm.
So, look, this royal drama, it isn't just some family affair.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It really throws a powerful spotlight on this intricate dance between ancient traditions and modern legal systems in South Africa.
Yeah.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, really, to explore the deeper significance of this whole situation, this unprecedented situation.
Using the source material we have?
Yeah, drawing directly from our source, Zulu royal divorce and customary law.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is the legal paradox this presents.
How so?
Well, the king, he's the custodian of Zulu custom, right?
Right.
And that custom traditionally embraces polygamy. But, and this is key, it strongly discourages divorce.
Okay, so polygamy, yes, divorce, no, traditionally speaking.
Exactly. So now he's at the center of this very public conversation about the changing position of indigenous laws.
Because he's pursuing a divorce, which is discouraged, to facilitate more marriage, which is allowed.
Sort of, but it's even more tangled. His move highlights this live test case. While customary law permits multiple wives, that civil marriage he entered into.
The one from 2021?
Yes. That usually establishes a monogamous framework under civil law.
Ah, okay, so it's custom versus civil law embodied in the king himself.
Precisely. This case isn't just about his personal choice. It's about which legal framework ultimately takes precedence, in a nation trying to respect both.
And to really get that dynamic, we need to appreciate the history, right? The history that shapes these customs.
Well, context is crucial.
The AmaZulu royal lineage, it's incredibly prominent, dates way back to the 1500s.
Very long history.
They lead the AmaZulu nation, which is huge, maybe 10 million people, primarily in KwaZulu-Natal, part of the larger Nguni peoples.
Mm-hmm.
And their history includes these, iconic figures like Shaka Kasanzangakona, Shaka Zulu.
The Morse empire builder.
Yeah, transformed the clan into this formidable empire back in the 1800s. And interestingly, he had no children, succeeded by his half-brothers.
Right, and later figures too.
And Setchwayo Kampande, yeah. He led the Zulu during the Anglo-Zulu War against the British. Famous figure.
So if we connect this historical legacy to the current legal challenge.
That's the key question, isn't it?
This is where it gets really complex. The court denying the Queen's request, despite the civil marriage, that points to a critical challenge in South Africa's legal system.
Which is?
It recognizes customary law alongside civil law. They coexist, legally speaking.
Okay.
So this means the validity, or perhaps the implications, of a customary marriage framework, even allowing for polygamy, might, in some interpretations, interact complexly with a prior civil union.
Especially when it involves the king.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when the king, as the symbol and custodian of that very tradition, is involved. The source really gets into how this specific intersection is being debated, interpreted right now in the courts.
So it's not simple, not just one law trumping another.
No, not at all. It's a nuanced negotiation constantly playing out.
So the core issue isn't simply the divorce itself. It's how his civil marriage interacts with his right under customary law to take multiple wives.
That's the crux of it, yes. It's a point where these two, deeply embedded legal systems often clash in modern South Africa.
And it's not just theoretical stuff for law books, is it?
Absolutely not. This is playing out in public. Real people, real lives, and real implications for the future of customary law.
Yeah.
It really raises this important question. How do these ancient, deeply rooted customs, how do they navigate and coexist with modern civil law? Especially when the monarchy itself, the symbolic heart of that tradition, is involved.
Right.
This case, it's not merely about personal matters. It's a profound illustration of the ongoing adaptation, or sometimes, the profound struggle of indigenous laws in a contemporary setting.
Indeed. This royal deep dive, it really shows us that this is an ongoing negotiation, doesn't it, between historical traditions and these evolving legal frameworks.
Hmm.
It's about understanding how custom adapts, or, well, maybe grapples to adapt in a world that's constantly changing.
So, thinking about this, what really stands out to you about this delicate balancing act
Mm.
between cultural heritage and legal modernity, particularly when, the very people tasked with upholding tradition are also, in a way, pushing its boundaries and maybe redefining its terms?